Joyce will, in a moment, give us two songs made popular by Val Doonigan, and then they will all sing a four-part arrangement of Somewhere Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz. We have readings this evening from Melanie and Martin, and I will leave Melanie to introduce her item. Baby It's Cold Outside is a number from the 1940s MGM film Neptune's Daughter, and this will be sung by Margaret as the mouse and Ralph as the wolf. I do wonder if this is typecasting.
To by Michael Rosen, and it tells you what you can do when you daydream. And it's called My Magic Box. When Aladdin rubbed the lamp, a genie came to him and said, "I am at your service. I will do whatever you wish." I wanted to have a genie, my genie. But no matter how many old lamps I rubbed, no genie ever came to me. But one morning I was daydreaming. The window was open. "I want to fly out of the window," I said. "I want to fly," I said. "I want to fly." And ka-chung! Into my hand came a shiny black box like a cassette recorder, with silver levers and buttons and switches and little flaps that clipped down with silver studs. One of the flaps said, "Fly." So I undid the studs, lifted the flap, and there was a button underneath it. So I pressed it. And next thing I knew, I was flying. I was flying with my black box tucked underneath my arm. I flew up off my bed and out through the window, flying, really flying. And I didn't come down again. I went whee! Till I heard, "She's in one of her dreams again." And suddenly I wasn't flying, and I didn't have my box. I was just standing in the middle of the room. After that time, that first time, I found all kinds of ways to get my black box with silver switches and buttons. Sometimes I just wished for the box to come to me, and we went places together. Other times I wished for something, and without even waiting for me to wish for it, my box came and helped me. You see, I love hot beaches. I love to walk on a hot beach, the sun hot on my back, the sea cool under my feet, and I grow thirsty as I walk. The sun hot, the sea cool, my mouth begins to dry out, so I wish for something to wet those dry lips. Something icy, something to lick, a lolly to lick. So with the sun hot on my back and the sea wet on my feet, I want a lolly cold on my lips. And ka-chung! There's my black box, silver switches, buttons, levers, and this time when I see a flap, the flap says, "Lolly." I lift the flap, I press the button, and the lolly comes into my hand. It's raspberry split, so I can lick and nibble, with the sun still hot on my back and the sea still wet under my feet, and my box underneath my arm. Then I hear, "Hey you, I asked you to get dressed an hour ago." And the sun goes, and the sea goes, and the lolly goes, the box goes. And I'm just sitting in the middle of the floor with a pair of trousers in my hand. He was a good friend though, my box. Kept me out of trouble, my box. Stayed with me when I was ill, my box.
is bad outside. The cats to be had outside. The rising like starlight. I'll take your hat, your hair looks
I want to say no, 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 no. At least I'm going to say that I tried.
What's the sense of turning
I really can't
oh, baby, I'm cold out, baby, it's cold outside.
I really must
But baby, it's cold outside.
The answer is
But baby, it's cold outside.
the welcome has
I'm lucky that you
so nice and cold.
look at the window.
My sister will be suspicious. My chauffeur will be waiting at the door. Aunt's mind is so suspicious. But maybe just a little bit.
Never such a pleasure
I've
before.
got to go home. Say, let me go
It's up to
home.
your knees out there.
This evening has been so wonderful.
How can she do this thing to
There's
me?
got to be talk tomorrow. There's got to be plenty implied. I simply can't stay. Oh, but it's cold
Thank you very much indeed. Before we go on with the program, those of you who know us will realize that there are some people missing in the choir, and you may be wondering why Mike is sitting down here. Well, he's with us tonight, and so is Dawn, and we are delighted to have them both with us. And we do wish Dawn, all of us from InCon, all the best for a very speedy recovery. It's wonderful. And we're also very grateful to William up there in the basses, who has actually left us. We're very sad that he's actually gone, but we're delighted that he's actually got into the Southwest Chamber Choir, and unfortunately they rehearse on a Wednesday evening. So he had to say goodbye to us in January. But at very short notice, because Mike couldn't be in the concert, he's come along to help us out this evening. So also to William, thank you very much.
along the mountain track, and as I go,
perhaps a song that we all remember. And no doubt we all know this next item too, though perhaps not this particular four-part arrangement.
Teddy bear. A bear, however hard he tries, grows tubby without exercise. Our teddy bear is short and fat, which is not to be wondered at. He gets what exercise he can by falling off the ottoman, but generally seems to lack the energy to clamber back. Now, tubbiness is just the thing which gets a fellow wondering, and Teddy worried lots about the fact that he was rather stout. He thought, if only I were thin, but how does anyone begin? He thought, it really isn't fair to grudge me exercise and air. For many weeks he pressed in vain his nose against the window pane and envied those who walked about reducing their unwanted stout. None of the people he could see is quite, he said, as fat as me. Then with a still more moving sigh, I mean, he said, as fat as I. Now Teddy, as was only right, slept in the ottoman at night, and with him crowded in as well more animals than I can tell. Not only these, but books and things such as a refined relation brings, old tales of once upon a time, and history retold in rhyme. One night it happened that he took a peep at an old picture book, wherein he came across by chance the picture of a king of France, a stoutish man, and down below these words, King Louis so-and-so, nicknamed the Handsome. There he sat, and think of it, the man was fat. Our bear rejoiced like anything to read about this famous king, nicknamed the Handsome. There he sat, and certainly the man was fat, nicknamed the Handsome, not a doubt. The man was definitely stout. Why then, a bear, for all his tub, might yet be named the Handsome Cub. Might yet be named, or did he mean that years ago he might have been? For now he felt a slight misgiving. Is Louis so-and-so still living? Fashions in beauty have a way of altering from day to day. Is handsome Louis with us yet? Unfortunately, I forget. Next morning, nose to window pane, the doubt occurred to him again. One question hammered in his head: is he alive or is he dead? Thus, nose to pane, he pondered, but the lattice window, loosely shut, swung open, with one startled "oh!" Our Teddy disappeared below. There happened to be passing by a plump man with a twinkling eye, who, seeing Teddy in the street, raised him politely to his feet, and murmured kindly in his ear soft words of comfort and of cheer. Well, well, allow me, not at all. Tut, tut, a very nasty bore. Our Teddy answered not a word. It's doubtful if he even heard. Our bear would only look and look, the stout man in the picture book. That handsome king, could this be he, this man of adiposity? Impossible, he thought, but still, no harm in asking. Yes, I will. Are you, he said, by any chance, His Majesty the King of France? The other answered, I am that, bowed stiffly and removed his hat. Then said, excuse me, with an air, but is it Mr. Edward Bear? And Teddy, bending very low, replied politely, even so. They stood beneath the window there, the King and Mr. Edward Bear, and handsome, if a trifle fat, talked carelessly of this and that. Then said His Majesty, well, well, I must get on, and rang the bell. Your bear, I think, he smiled, good day, and turned and went upon his way. A bear, however hard he tries, grows tubby without exercise. Our teddy bear is short and fat, which is not to be wondered at. But do you think it worries him to know that he is far from slim? No, just the other way about. He's proud of being short and stout.
Barbie is now going to capture the spirit of that well-known, just an old-fashioned girl. Jackie and I will do a charming duet from Carousel, When the Children Are Asleep. And we will finish the first half of our concert this evening with two numbers from Les Miserables, the sad song Castle on a Cloud, sung in the show by the young girl Cosette as she dreams of happier times. And finally, the stirring song by the students as they whip up support in Do You Hear the People Sing?
Not sophisticated, I'm a plain and simple man. I went
That song, All in the April Evening, welcomes you back to the second half of our concert this evening. We will stay in this slightly more peaceful mood for a few moments while we listen to Valerie telling us about a small 4-year-old boy who is going to school for the first time. For those of us who can remember the daily radio programme Listen with Mother, and we're going back a few years here, the piano duet which follows will bring back happy memories of our childhood. After that, Margaret will sing us a new setting in the style of Handel of the well-known nursery rhyme Little Jack Horner.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think most probably we all associate the name Stan Holloway with Doolittle in My Fair Lady, which of course is the part which he created when it first went on the stage. But Stan Holloway was also somebody who did an awful lot of monologues, and he did a lot of monologues on a little boy called Sam. And Martin is now going to read us one, The Recumbent Posture.
This one's actually about Albert. The day after Christmas, young Albert were what's called confined to his bed, with a tight kind of pain in his stomach and a light feeling up in his head. His parents were all of a fluster when they saw They said, "Put out your tongue." When they'd seen it, they said, "Put it back in again, quick." Ma made him a basin of gruel, but that were a boo for the worse. Though the little lad tried hard to eat it, at the finish he did the reverse. The pain showed no signs of abating, so at last they got doctor to call. He said it were in the abdomen, and not in his stomach at all. He sent up a bottle of physic, with instructions on label to say, to be took in a recumbent posture, 1 teaspoonful 3 times a day. As Ma stood there reading the label, Pa started to fit it about. He said, "Get a teaspoon and dose him before he gets better react." "I can manage the teaspoon," said Mother, a look of distress on her face. "It's this here recumbent posture. I haven't got one in the place." Said Pa, "What about Mrs. Lupton, next door here? You better ask her. The woman who's buried 3 husbands is sure to have one of them there." So they went round and asked Mrs. Lupton. "Aye, I know what you mean," she replied. "I have got one on order for Horace, but poor dear got impatient and died." She said, "You'd best try the co-op shop. They'll have one in stock, I dare say. Fact, I think I saw one in Winder last time I was passing that way." So round they went to co-op shop, and at counter for household supplies, Pa asked for recumbent posture, and the shopman said, "Yes, sir, what size?" Said Ma, "It's for our little Albert. I don't know what size he would use. I know he takes 13 in collars, and 6s for fittings in shoes." "If it's little lad size as you want him," said shopman, "I'm sorry to say, we know but have one in the building, and that one was sold yesterday." He sent them across to a tinsmith who said, "I know what you've in mind. If you'll draw me a pattern, I'll make one." But Pa had left his pencil behind. They tried every shop they could think of. They walked for 2 hours by clock, and though most places reckoned to keep them, then none of them got one in stock. The last place they tried was a chemist's. He looked at them both with a frown, and told them a recumbent posture were Latin and meant lying down. "It means lying down, put in Latin." Said Father, "That's just what I thought." Then he picked up a side glance from Mother and pretended he hadn't said note. "They're not dosing my lad with Latin," said Mother, her face looking grim. "Just plain castor oil's all he's getting, and I'm leaving the posture to him."
Ladies and gentlemen, this is rather a special item. Last year, last summer, at South Dartmoor College, a music pupil got an A star for music, and one of the items that contributed to his A star was a composition called "Searching." And I heard it, and I asked a music pupil if it was possible that it could be arranged for InCon choir. And he said yes. So we asked Ralph Wickenden, and who is the music master at the college, and he has very kindly arranged this composition for InCon choir. And from your programmes, you will see that it is the UK premiere. What is very special about the composition, the tape, is the fact that it's actually been retained by the examining board and has been put in their archives. So tonight you're going to hear Searching by Chris Vaughan, arranged by Ralph Wickham.
Children, we've had our run round the classroom. Now it's time to start our day's work. We're going to have a little sing-song together, and Miss Bolting is going to play the piano for us. So, come and settle down over here, please, all of you. Come on. Kenny, why haven't you taken your coat off? No, it isn't time to go home yet, Kenny. You've only just come. You'd rather go home with bad luck. No, you can't go home. Not quite yet. Look, Kenny, you've only been here about 10 minutes. Come and sit on the floor by Susan. Yes, you do. You like Susan. No, Susan, I don't think he wants to sit on your lap. No, I thought he didn't. Kenny, you don't want to see your tongue. Thank you. No, not even a little bit of it. Put it back, please. All of it. Look, I'll give your jacket to Caroline. I'm sure she'll hang it up for you. Thank you, Caroline. Who's that whistling? Sydney. No, you never whistle indoors. You can whistle in the garden, but not indoors. Yes, I know you have just whistled indoors, but don't do it anymore, please. And don't punch Jacqueline. I'm sure she didn't say she liked you punching her, did you, Jacqueline? Well, I don't think it's a good idea, so we won't have any more punching. Let's be kind to each other today, shall we? We're going to learn some more of the drum marching song we began yesterday. Now, who remembers how it starts? No, David, it doesn't begin Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That's another song. Yes, I know you know it, but we aren't going to sing it now. No, not today. No, not tomorrow. But look, I don't know when. We're going to sing our drum marching song now, aren't we? So let's start. Edgar? Neville, why are you standing on those chairs? Well, look, you can see into the fish tank perfectly well from the floor. Now get down, please. Oh, Neville, no. You can't hold a fish in your hand. Well, because they don't like being held in people's hands, do they? They don't like coming out of the water. Well, because their home is the water, isn't it? Well, yes, they do have to come out of the water sometime when we eat them. These aren't eating fishes, are they? They're friend fishes. It's Phyllis and Fred. Now, you wouldn't want to eat Phyllis and Fred, now would you? No, Sydney, you wouldn't. And I don't think they're better than sausages. Please, you don't have to go and see Phyllis and Fred. You know them perfectly well. I don't know what they're doing behind the weeds, Sydney. Just having a nice friendly game, I expect. Neville, you tell us, how does the marching song begin? Yes, that's right. Rum tum tum, says the big bass drum. Well remembered, Neville. Now, when we know the song well enough, we're all going to march to it. But today, we're just going to sit and sing. So, is everybody ready? Rum tum tum, says the big bass drum. Miss Bolton, just a minute. Neville, where's your drum, Kenny? No, not on your head. It's on a string, on a piece of pretend string round your neck, isn't it? That's right. Sydney, I heard what you said. You know it isn't rum tum tummy. Yes, it may be funny, but it isn't right. Yes, it is a funny joke. Let's get the laughter over with, please, shall we? Finished? Now then, ready? Rum tum tummies. Oh, yes, I made a mistake. It was silly of me, wasn't it? Yes, it was very silly. Shush, shush, it wasn't as silly as all that. I think we'll go on to the next bit, please, Miss Bolton. Root toot toot says... Who says root toot toot, David? No, David, not twinkle twinkle. Yes, Lavinia, the cheerful flute. What is a flute? No, Dickie, it isn't an orange. No, it isn't a banana. No, it isn't an apple. It isn't fruit. It's a flute. A flute. And what is a flute? Yes, Lavinia, it's in a band. It's a musical instrument in a band. And how do we play it? No, we don't kick it and bash it about. Now think. We blow it. Yes, Edgar, we blow it. And the music comes out of it. It's a musical instrument, and we blow down it. Rachel! Don't blow it, Timmy, please. And Timmy, don't go back. Well, look, I'm sorry she blew you a very wet one, but you don't have to blow her a wet one back. Now use your hankies and wipe each other down, please. I'm sure you're both very sorry. No, Kenny, it isn't time to go home yet. Charlene, why are you taking your skirt off? Well, look, I'm sure Mummy wants you to keep it nice and clean, but you won't get it dirty from singing, you know. Yes, it is. It's very pretty. Yes, and it's got little doggies all over it. Little blue doggies and little pink doggies. Put it on again, please. Oh, yes, your panties are very pretty. And your vest. Pull your skirt down now, please. There's a good... George! What did I ask you not to do? Well, don't do it. Root toot toot, says the cheerful flute. Now rest. Sydney, you're whistling again. And if you're going to whistle, you must learn to do it properly. You don't just draw in your breath like that. You have to blow it in and out. No, it's no good saying you bet I can't whistle, because I can. I've been able to whistle for a very long time, but I'm not going to do it now. But I can. I don't know why I compete with him, Mrs. Balding. I really shouldn't. Now look, let's just start our drum marching song from the beginning, shall we? From the very beginning. 1, 2... Sorry, what did you say, Miss Balding? Already? Ooh, so it is. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, and here's Mrs. Weston with the tea and the milk and biscuits. Now, everybody get into a straight line by the trolley, please. No, Kenny, it isn't time to go home yet. We've got another hour and a half to go.
Our next item is an arrangement for mixed chorus of the song The Lonely Goatherd from The Sound of Music. That is followed by an arrangement for two voices of that wonderful old song Bless This House, which will be sung tonight by Debbie and Sue.
Lay
We'll finish this concert this evening with 3 numbers from the Gilbert and Sullivan repertoire. The plot of Iolanthe is of the struggle between Fairyland and the House of Lords. The peers have been made aware of the troubles ahead after Iolanthe's son, Strephon, has been appointed by the fairies not just as an MP, but as leader of both parties. We will all sing the chorus with Strephon for your foe. This will be followed by 2 sparkling songs from the Gondoliers, and who better to lead us than our very own Ricardo, telling us what merry fellows they are. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we will leave you all with feelings of pleasure.
of singers for that really lovely concert. And thank you all for coming along and supporting us. Thank you.